The golden retriever had been putting himself between the toddler and the high chair for 11 days. Everyone thought he wanted the food. He didn't want the food. Sunny was a 3-year-old golden, food-motivated in the specific way of goldens, which is to say completely, enthusiastically, and with sustained attention. He had never shown restraint around dropped food, available food, or food-adjacent opportunities in 3 years of enthusiastic goldenhood. When 17-month-old Sophie started solid foods in her high chair, the obvious read was Sunny had identified a new food source and was positioning for maximum opportunity. He positioned between Sophie and the high chair. Not beside the high chair, not under it. Between Sophie and the tray, specifically at the front of the chair before and during mealtimes, making it necessary to navigate around him to buckle Sophie in. Her mother, Diane Chen, moved him every mealtime. He came back. She moved him again. He came back and sat at the front of the high chair, specifically at tray level, nose working. She called it, Sunny wants the food. 11 days of this. Then Diane watched more carefully on day 12. Sunny's nose was not working the tray. It was working the tray buckle mechanism, the plastic front restraint that locks Sophie into the chair. He was pressing his nose to the buckle, not sniffing food, sniffing plastic. The specific, deliberate investigation of a dog who has found something that doesn't smell right. She looked at the buckle. She pulled it. It came apart in her hand, not the intentional release mechanism, the sidewall of the buckle housing. The load-bearing plastic had hairline fractured and separated. The buckle would not have held Sophie's weight in a forward lunge. Subscribe now before the next detail, because what the product safety inspector said when Diane submitted the buckle with photographs, and what she found when she looked up the model number, is why Diane submitted 3 other families' high chair buckles in the same week. The inspector found that Sunny's high chair was from a batch flagged in an unpublicized manufacturer review. A material inconsistency in the buckle housing plastic that produced stress fractures under thermal cycling. The buckle could fail without visible warning. She said, the fracture in your buckle would not have been visible in normal use inspection. The plastic is opaque. The hairline is at the housing junction. Diane said, the dog found it. She said, dogs are sensitive to polymer off-gassing. A plastic structural failure produces microstress that can release trace volatile compounds, not detectable by human senses, but potentially within canine olfactory range. She said, he wasn't sniffing food. He was investigating a chemical signature that corresponded with material failure. She said, 11 days of positioning between the child and the failed buckle. Has your dog ever investigated a specific object or piece of baby equipment, not food-related, in a sustained, focused way? Tell us in the comments. Every guardian deserves to be recognized, even the ones who never asked for anything in return. If stories like this matter to you, subscribe so you never miss the next one. The high chair was replaced. 3 other families in Diane's parent group had the same model and checked. 2 more buckles showed stress fracturing. Those chairs were also replaced. Sunny still positions near Sophie during mealtimes. He is admittedly also interested in the food, but Diane watches what he watches now, specifically what his nose goes to and stays at. She has not called him food-motivated since day 12. Next, the baby and the puppy who developed a morning exchange, and the pediatric researcher who said what they were doing had a name in developmental science.